Guys, Flabaliki here today and welcome back to Cities Skylines today, starting off with another time lapse. It's about like 13 and a half minutes or so, but this is something we were talking about last episode, was sort of working on the train tracks. I was actually going to go through and double track them all, so that's actually what I'm starting off with, which is actually, it was not an easy task. You'll see there's a lot of stuff that sort of I have to move and reposition as I go through. We also had the cargo train station here, which I was like, I didn't really want to include that as part of the double track, so I wanted to sort of have that still off to the side. And then we also have the train station that's on the other side. So I was just I was spending a lot of time working with the tracks and making sure that the trains are going to be going the right way. Like when we get cargo trains in here, I was trying to make sure that they're using the right set of tracks, but also I still want all the tracks to be joined so that trains can transition between them. It was confusing, but with a lot of fiddling around, I eventually got it. And I think it looks okay. Like, I don't think you'd even notice that we sort of went back and adjusted a lot of stuff to fit these in. So I think it turned out pretty well. It just took a bit of time. So I'm quite happy with this in the end. I did a lot of time, like, sort of, you can see, adjusting the nodes exactly to line up with the other ones. I think you guys even suggested that, I'm pretty sure, and I think I remember this too, but I couldn't seem to find it on the workshop. I'm pretty sure there was an asset that had 4 tracks on it, but I'm not sure. Maybe there wasn't. I also was thinking about it, and then I was like, I also don't know how it would work and how it would, like, well, I do know how it would work, but I don't know how I would work with it. Anyway, so I ended up doing this. I guess the other way to do it, and the way that would generally you'd do it in real life, you wouldn't have 2 separate tracks like this, because obviously in this case, it means we have trains going in like the 2 directions, but there's like one, the first track is like going, I don't know which, I guess we'll just use north and south. So the first track is going north, the next one's going south in the opposite direction. Then again, the one next to that goes north and then south. So we have like these 4 alternating tracks all the way through. So it's kind of dumb in a way, but also it was not going to be really possible to, because I would have to go through with individual tracks and sort of line them all up in one-way train tracks, and it was going to be way more complicated doing that way. So I went the easier route, and I think it worked out pretty fine. So I was like, okay, it'll be fine. But we did have to adjust, some of these tracks here. You can see I'm sort of, well, first of all, I'm adjusting them, and then because we have the little road there, we didn't actually have enough room to sort of fit it all in, and it means I had to adjust the station a little bit, and then the trees, because the station has the trees. I think there is a mod to remove trees and stuff off assets, but didn't have it, so just sort of, we were able to work with the track here a little bit and sort of move it out of the way, and then get this line to come all the way through. It surprisingly fit in pretty well throughout most of the city. There was only a few places that were a little dicey, but even still, we were able to sort of work around with them. And then I also put in like plenty of, I ended up doing specific one-way merging track pieces between the 2 different lines. And then I also like enabled and disabled cargo trains where I saw fit, because I wanted them to use the specific line as well. And the great thing about this is where I decided I'm going to use this second line that we've been putting in here the entire time to be the line that's going to go over to the university. Well, actually, it's not a university, is it? It's the Liberal Arts College? What did we build? I don't know. It's one of them. But that's the other thing we're going to be working on today. So we're going to go over there. So this line now connects out to that finally, which is something we've been talking about for the longest time. We're like, man, we should have a train station there. We should have a train that goes there. So that is now going to be this line, which will then continue tracking out over that way and going in that direction, which is really, really good. So that means we now have a connection out over there. So this is where we had to do a little bit of work to get it to happen and to look okay, because we sort of had to come down here by the residential area. Had to lose one house. It was kind of sad, and at the moment it looks kind of bad because we're sort of just doing this elevated track in front of the river and all that, and just blocking it off. Look, it's never going to look perfect because of where this track has to go, but I did do some landscaping just to bring the land up to it, so it didn't seem as bizarre to have it blocking off there. But obviously it's not ideal, but considering we're working backwards and trying to fit a train line into this area, having not planned one initially, I think it's pretty good. Like, I think it turned out okay. We just do like a little bridge here, and then we're actually using this little roundabout, and we've just put a train station right here on the end, and I thought that was pretty good. I was pretty happy with this positioning of it. It seemed to fit in there like perfectly. I sort of just adjusted the roundabout so it goes perfectly there. Did a little bit of surface painter to clean up the concrete just so it's not as sharp around the edges. And then that sort of just sits there, and it acts as a train station for the university, or the Liberal Arts College right there. And then obviously going through here and connecting up all the lines again. making sure that everything's working. I did actually need, so originally I did a bunch of those connections just there. You saw like connect them back and forth, but I actually changed that later on when I realized the train routing was going to be a little bit messy. So I sort of worked with that a bit. And then I also went through and continued the bike and pedestrian path that we have going throughout the entire city. I wanted to go through and around the campus as well to connect up, because obviously we had the one that sort of just ended there, but we thought, might as well, I thought might as well get it to come through and join up to the train station. And then from the train station, also get it through connecting up to the other side where we've got all this other residential area too. It just seems to make sense to continue that path throughout the entire city, especially if it's now going to be connecting to this train station, which obviously there's going to be a lot of people trying to go to. Initially, it starts off a little slow because there's no trains running here. Like no one really uses this pathway. And there's also a ferry station here. So once all that sort of starts working, then we get a lot of people using this bridge and getting through all these areas. And obviously, as we start building up these locations as well, more and more stuff is going to happen, which is good. So that was actually one thing. So that was something we did a lot in the last part as well, was just a lot of these pedestrian and bike paths. And that's something I'm continuing here. So I actually joined this all the way through because we got that tram stop there as well. We have all these sort of public transport locations here, and they're a little bit spread out because we got the train station, then the ferry stop, then the tram stop. They're kind of a bit of a distance, so that's why we've at least connected it all with the this pedestrian and bike path. And then we need to go back. I'm hoping we have enough room. Obviously, because these campus buildings get huge, we're probably going to have to sprawl the campus out somewhere else as well. But we'll have a look at that as we jump back in. Oh, and here, this is what I was talking about as well. We sort of jump forward a bit here. I turned all these train lines into tunnels for a portion of this section approaching the main central station. So it doesn't take up the entire space. So it now sort of tunnels under this section, but then it comes back out again on the other side, which I'm pretty happy with, because I think we still need some exposed tracks on the other end for it all to connect. And I think we got a good distance without having to rework pretty much any of this. Like we were able to just turn it into a tunnel and then it all sort of works just fine. I also added another tunnel connection for the cargo trains because of the way we did the double track setup now, they have to come off on the left rather than cutting across to the right. So that's what we did there. And then I was also talking about, I think I spoke about it last time too, about wanting to do a little bit of an interchange here so that we could continue the highway just a little bit longer down to the industrial area. So that's what I've done here is I've actually split this off. So this road continues going up and over, and then we get these tiny little lanes coming down. Now, if you're wondering where these ones come from, oh, and that's the other thing. I don't know when I'm going to do a modern asset list because we've gotten this far and I haven't actually done one for the new series. I'm using most of the same mods and assets I used in the previous series. So if you go back to the industry series, you'll be able to see that there. But anyway, this is from the Sydney Harbour Bridge asset. I love these highways because they're these tiny little roads. You can see how small these roads are, and they're really, really good for this tight and small, but heavily trafficked interchange here, because obviously we're going to have a lot of people coming down this way to the city center and all that kind of stuff. So having those like tiny roads, but multiple lanes, so useful. So we're using those here to get a nice tight and compact interchange into an area that's basically the same footprint that it was. Obviously, it's a little bit bigger because it's, coming up and sweeping around, and we sort of opened it up a little bit to get lanes in the middle. It's also a little I guess unconventional with the lane mergers. So we sort of got them coming into the middle of the road, which typically left-hand drive you wouldn't merge from the right-hand side, but that does happen in some locations here in real life as well, just because obviously if the space is limited and that's all you can do, that's what's going to happen. So that's what I've done in this case, and it was the neatest way to be able to do it all anyway. And I'm using the sort of 4-lane roads here as well when they all merge together to hopefully keep the traffic flow nice and neat. And then this intersection here where it sort of joins the road is still not going to have any traffic lights. It's going to be a smooth flowing intersection. So hopefully it should all, and so far it is all working fine because we don't have that much traffic yet. We haven't really built up the downtown yet. The downtown is actually not that populated. And I keep calling it a downtown, but we don't even have any big buildings yet or anything here. It's just a little bit of high density in the cathedral. But we will be building that up whenever that is. I don't know, but that will be at some point soon. Now, down this way, this is kind of interesting. So we built so the highway continues down here, and I connected up directly to the industrial zone, which will be, we'll do a little bit of industrial buildings. We won't do much, but it's mostly to get to the cargo harbor that's down here and the train line and all that. So that goes straight down this way. And I sort of kept a little bit of this road elevated, then it goes down, and it's really, really curvy and wavy and trying to follow the landscape a little bit. Because I think as we zone into this area, I think it will look good. It's obviously going to look a little bit like a bit of a modern construction, and maybe they didn't care as much for the old heritage of the location. But obviously this motorway and this highway is a new installation compared to everything else. But I tried to keep it sort of flowing through a little bit more organically so that when we do come through and build everything around it, it should hopefully blend in pretty well. And obviously we're using these tiny little roads, so hopefully it is quite small and not that obtrusive. But, you know, time will tell as we go back and fill it in. So originally I just had this highway like merging onto this road. But then I was like, you know what, we should probably merge from the correct side just so traffic can flow really, really smoothly. Because I anticipate that we'll have a fair amount of traffic coming down to this cargo harbor. At the moment, we don't really have that much because it is a bit further away than everything else in the city. But I think as we build this up, it might get busy. So that's why I've built this. I mean, if it doesn't, then I guess we can demolish this area if it's never that busy in the future. But for now, I was like, you know what? Let's get ahead of the curve and try a plan for this. And then we have the highway connection that actually just joins to this road here because we're not continuing the highway any further. I don't think that we'll need to. But I guess if we do, we can at some point. But for now, it's just like, it could probably just join to the avenue. It should be fine because there's not really anywhere else to go. We sort of just hit the water and then that's it. And then obviously we should probably start looking into more ferry lines, especially in the new areas where we've built up those new islands. I think we might need to get a few more ferry stops and all that kind of stuff. Also, probably should download a custom ferry. I've still like not settled on one that I'm after. Like I've not really found one that I think is right for it. But that's something I'm definitely planning on doing because obviously we have those giant sort of almost cruise ship ferries that we've got going around that are a little bit big for this whole environment. I think we need some smaller, more subtle ones that will actually fit in and make sense. And then down this area, I wanted to force trucks and that to do a proper like U-turn at the end of this road because I hate when they do that tiny unrealistic turn right there at the end of that little road. I hate that so much. So I'm like, okay, no, you have to go this way. So hopefully, hopefully all the traffic will flow like quite smoothly through here and look a little bit nicer. And then we'll get a few like industrial buildings down there too, which I think should look pretty good. But yeah, you can see it. There's a little bit of spaghetti with that connection, but I think that's always inherent with like a highway and all that. And then we're back here where we had this bike path crossover from last time where I built the bridge. It's now a tunnel just because I think the tunnel made more sense. It also looks less obtrusive too and a lot nicer. It just looks much nicer. And we're sort of just adjusting the land here a little bit so it also flows together and they can get around quite easily. So that all just joins through there. And then we were talking about doing a bike path down into the city center as well. So we're actually chucking that together in just a moment after this. It sort of just follows the road that we already have on the other side. That appeared to be the easiest way. The other suggestion was alongside like the highway or something, but I figured right here, we already have so many people walking this way. I was like, we might as well just have the bike path come straight down next to this. It literally is the easiest way. So it comes down here, and then I actually use the bike path road because I was going to do the bike lane all the way down, but we don't have that much room here. So I was like, well, if I'm going to put buildings here, let's just turn it into a bike path road, and then this will join up to the main road. You can see it sort of come through here. Do a little bike path there, and then I turn the main avenue actually into a bike path road as well. But that's it for the time lapse, so let's jump into the game. So this is it all in action. This is the highway extension that comes down this way. I think it definitely... I mean, I like the spaghetti nature of it. I think it's definitely like... It's clearly something that they sort of like put in, and it looks like it's sort of working around stuff, but because it's like in an empty landscape right now, we probably need to smooth this out a little bit too. But because there's nothing built here, it looks kind of silly at the moment. It looks like, why would they do this instead of just going straight across? But I figured also if we went straight across, that seemed very disregarding the landscape and all that. And I think probably not a very European thing to do if we just did that. At least not in this setting of the city. Anyway, so that's that bit. And then we can see up above, from above here, if we just jump into this view, the train line actually is now double tracked all the way through, which I'm really happy with because it doesn't look like, it doesn't look like we've really changed anything from this, like from here. But if you sort of zoom in, then you can see it all. It's sort of living in the middle there, which I'm really, really happy with. We got a few... few little things we got to fix up here, and like I said, there was a few little areas where it's needs a little bit of cleaning up, but for the most part it works perfectly fine, so I'm quite happy with that. We got a few of the changeovers there with the trains going through. Actually, one thing I did notice, so I figured out why we have because obviously I was talking about before how we have so much traffic coming down here and through all these roundabouts. I figured it out. I mean, and it makes sense when I looked at it. I was like, if we click on this road here, actually, if we just click on this highway exit, There's actually a bunch of traffic that just exits the highway, comes through all the road network, and joins up the highway again. And it makes sense because it's cutting out this giant corner here. And I mean, I was thinking about it. I was like, well, I could like try and prevent it, but also there's not really a good way to prevent it, because if we did ban heavy traffic, that's no good because we need heavy traffic to get here. Which, I mean, I don't mind them using the roads to get there. But obviously it would allow them to go all the way through to get up there. But then also I was like, well, if we build up this area anyway, we're going to get more intersections, and then eventually they'll prefer to go this way anyway because it's going to be quicker. So I was like, I mean, and for now it's actually not that big of a deal. It's just quite, there's quite a lot of traffic through here. I kind of like how busy it looks. So not too upset about that. So that's fine. This train line over here has come to life now a little bit. Got a few people using it, but I think as we start building up this area more, it will also be quite useful. Cool. So, the other thing I did that wasn't in the time lapse because it was super boring. All the buildings on this island are now historical, so this will stay as is. I really like this island and the way it looks. And you guys were saying as well that we do need to make sure that people can't just walk into this area, which actually I did download. Are they here? I did download these. Light rail the LRT tram tracks, no fences, because I believe these don't have. Why is it? No collision. I believe these don't have pathways on them, which is basically all we need, because that will just stop them being able to walk through this area. So if we go like this now, distance too short. No, it's not. No, it's not. Sucked in. We do this. It's now no longer navigable by those people. This bit can remain pathed. That's fine. And even that's fine because they can't get into here. So now, I don't believe that they can walk through to get into this area. So what we need to do is... Can this have a crossing on it? It appears to... Oh, that is a crossing. Okay. So I think... Let's have a look. Can people... Well, I don't know if this is joined anymore, though. I don't know that they're crossing through. It has a crossing, but I think it needs to actually have a connection. So I think what we need to do... also, remember that time I was like, hey, we're gonna go and do the campus this episode. What am I using? I'm using City Park Pathway. We will. Don't know how much we'll get done. Turn collision back on. Can I even... I don't think you can make it... Okay, well, let's not worry about it then. Let's just cut straight through it like this. It'll be fine. So we're going to have to just visually cut through it. But what we could do, I think if we lower it down, it should... Because I don't mind seeing the tracks. It's like, I don't mind people being able to walk across it. That's fine. And then this bit here... Oh, it does have a pathway there. So hopefully that should be joined now. Let's have a look. So we should be able to see, hopefully, people... Ooh. Ooh. Hang on. Adjust that so it doesn't do that. Oh, yeah, okay, cool. So people are now walking through here. These guys are like despawning. I'm not sure what the deal with that is, but hopefully that's fine in a second. Okay, there's definitely people walking down the pathway. They can walk over that way. Can they get across here? Because that's something I haven't seen yet. You know what? Let's just... I think this pathway particularly needs a connection. Whereas like the default in-game path doesn't. Whoa, that goes slow through here. Hang on. You know what? Let's remove that crossing on that because I think that might not be helping us. So we'll do that, and then let me get that pathway back again. Actually, I'll just use a City Park pathway. Yeah, I think this pathway needs a junction because whenever you have the, whenever you use, I think which pathway, like the original game pathway, this one, it never needs a junction as long as it just ends near something. It kind of just works. Anyway, so. Hopefully that should be fine now. They should be able to walk. Yeah, there we go. Walking across. And it means that no one can walk through the tram. They can walk on this side, though, I guess. Oh, the other thing I want to do. Actually, the thing we need to do, because we can't do it at the moment, because these actually just join at one single point in the middle, the tram tracks. So it's not actually going to work. We need to cut this here. Okay. Yeah, great. Let's make that a tunnel. And then just delete that bit. Okay, so now we have this midsection here, which is great. Because now we can make these tunnel entrances a little bit shorter because they are really, really long. And they take up like 90% of the island. So that's what we want to avoid. So if we do that, now we have all this space in the middle, which is much, much nicer to work with, which is great. Hang on, let me just... Back to normal mode, please. There we go. So yeah, much better. So if we just do a little bit of terraforming here, because obviously these entrances are still quite steep and all that. We might need to move the paths on the side a little bit there, but that's fine. It's all right. And then if we decorate this more. Anyway, so that's looking better. Looking much, much better. And now people have to pay to get into the park, which is good, so we can actually make money off it, which is very nice. Anyway, so we'll come back to that. That's something we got to revisit as we sort of continue moving forward. But over this way now, let's have a look at our campus here, Linden College of Liberal Arts. So we need it to be more attractive. That's literally all we have to do to level it up. Which is pretty straightforward. So liberal arts. So what do we have? What don't we have here yet? Do we have this? The liberal arts cafeteria? I feel like we do. How big is this? It's that. Oh yeah, it's there. I don't think there's anything we don't have yet, is there? Commencement office? Did we get a commencement? Maybe we don't have this. I don't think we do have this. So maybe the commencement thing can go... I'm trying to have a look. Maybe over here. That's pretty cool on this bit. Ooh. Fancy. Yeah, I like this. Okay, let's go out here. How big is it? Oh, it's really hard to see the land when you're in this view. Actually, let's do it the other way. What did I say? I was going to do it this way because I don't know if I want the building right on the edge like that. But what if we had this here? Oh, did I just place that with no collision? Oh, we got collision on. Just because it seems like there's a tree like right in the middle. Oh, I got prop anarchy on. It's like, just seems like there's a tree right in the middle of that. Is that cool? Would you want to go out here? I mean, that's pretty cool. I mean, sitting here, you don't see all that view. You see the building, but I guess standing up the top, you do. I don't know. Which way is better? But then I don't want the building to block it. Yeah, no, that's good. A little bit of a walk to get there, but I think it's okay. So let's go back here now. Is this in the oh, it is in the campus area. Perfect. So this is going to go... I guess like just around it. Sure. Where is that? That's there. So this is going to go straight across like that. And then, because I kind of like the almost gridded nature of this. Now, I want this to be here, but I don't want to destroy that pathway. So let's do this. Yeah, cool. Because then I can just join it up here. And then that will just go to here. And then that section of the pathway probably should just be back on the ground and looking a little bit nicer. I really need to get the network cloning thing where you can just like eyedrop stuff. I don't know. We might have to move this pathway because it is cutting straight through the middle, but we'll see how we go. All right. So then this just needs power and water, which is all good. Oh, that's the other thing we've got to do. So last time we were talking about that. I think you guys said nuclear power was a good option that we could actually end up using for powering our city. Because I'll show you, maybe I'll show you my shame. That sounds correct. I'll show you my shameful secrets with the power that we have in the city. I mean, you've probably seen it around. I don't know, because originally we had. Okay, don't do that. It was a little bit more visible. Let's put that there. But now I've just been piling up these guys over here to generate power. I've been piling these up here for water treatment. It's kind of the forgotten corner of the city. Actually, you know what the forgotten corner of the city is? All the farms and stuff out over here. But it seems to be fine, so that's all good. Anyway, so we're focusing on this. So is this enough? It's not powered, I realize, but is that enough to get the attractiveness up? 716. So we need a little bit more. So we've got the commencement office out over here, which is nice. I think if we do a few more buildings between that and here, it should be good. So that's that. So we got down to... Do we have liberal arts library? That's this building. Because some of these buildings aren't unique, but some of them are. So I'm just kind of like... making sure we get the right buildings. Ooh, this could go here. Ooh, that's actually a pretty good fit. That pathway's a little in the way. Oh, actually, that's fine. Yeah, get that building through here. Ooh, this is like really uneven through here. I feel like this needs to be at that height. Just to make it a little bit nicer. Okay. Yeah. Alright, so that can go there. That'll make all these guys just got super happy. So that's there. Then we also got the varsity sports. Oh, this is winning like all the time. This is so good. Then we got the liberal arts gymnasium over there. I don't think we had that built. I mean, it doesn't really matter if you have the same building over and over again. It doesn't matter at all. That did not add much to attractiveness at all. That did not do much for us. Art club. Do you have an art club? I don't know, but this can fit in one of these little small little nooks and crannies. Maybe here. No, I want a spot that fits it way better. That I definitely couldn't fit any bigger building in. Yeah, it's pretty good, actually. Oh, kind of plonked a tree in the middle of the road there. Nice. So that can go there. Tucks in there. Yeah, I'm just trying to make sure we sort of maximize all the space we got here. Commencement office, we did that. Academic statue. This should be a little bit more prominent, maybe. Not in campus area. Oh, that's a park area. That's right. If I can go here. Get out of it. Oh, yeah. That works. Can we, like, lower that down a little bit? Oh. Oh. Ooh. Hang on, let's try and find a happy middle ground here. A little bit lower? A little bit higher. Just so it doesn't rip. I mean, that's alright, I guess. It's not ideal, but that'll do. Alright, how are we doing for attractiveness now? This is going to be one damn attractive campus. Ooh, 891. That is close, actually. We still need power out of here. I was, like, getting new buildings to sort of join that up, but I haven't even got there. School of Environmental Studies. Now, this is going to be big. This could definitely go out the back here somewhere. Like, if I put it on this side path, that would definitely squeeze in here. I think that might be a good spot. I think so what I'll do, I'm going to get rid of all these pathways. And then we can figure this out afterwards. We're going to have to redo that anyway, so that's fine. Alright, so that was one of the specialty buildings. So, faculty encourages students to enlighten the masses about the negative effects on consumer culture on nature. Reducing garbage accumulation in the city, faculty increases campus attractiveness and requires a liberal arts campus area. Sweet. So that needs to go, I'll put it here, then we can use move it to adjust it a little bit, because I think we might be able to slide it in a bit more. Yeah. They always have a little bit on the edge here that we can sort of drag in a bit and put it like there. Okay, well, that is... Oh, I wonder if we could do a key along here. It's a pretty big campus. Maybe we could do that. Okay, so what we're going to do... So we've got this bike path here. I wonder if we even just change some of these to bike paths. Because we could even have it... You know what? Let me actually give myself a bit more room here. Like, what if we had it come alongside and then it sort of just continues... Or like we'll just use move it and have it go through... Not move it, but use... the thing to just keep it going through. Anarchy. That's what I was thinking of. I was trying to figure out what I was trying to figure out. Okay, we have snapping. So like, if we go like this, so then it will sort of join. Actually, we'll actually join it up there. And then I'm going to use Anarchy, go straight through. Actually, those trees are fine. This building is slightly in the way, so I'm actually going to move this just here, maybe. And then have this continue here. And then, I guess straight onto there, yeah. Get rid of this bit. So we do that instead. Instead of it sort of skirting around, it almost goes directly through the campus. And then that should be pretty good. I think that will work pretty well. So then this is going to come straight out. Oops. To here. And then this can come straight along, maybe? It's a little hilly through here, so it's kind of confusing how exactly I want to do this. That's fine. I think this will need to be a bridge section here. So let's go up. Can I just do this? And then have this come straight along. And then do this. Okay, so that does that. That looks awful. It's like, that does that. That looks terrible. Great. So that's a bit better. Okay, and then if we just do a little bit of terraforming here. Bring that up. Maybe just flatten that out so it's going to be easier. Kind of really wish that this wasn't like that. Maybe we can do... Maybe if we rebuild this now, it'll just be like, oh yeah, that's fine. Sometimes the game is just like, nah, still going to be elevated. Ah. If we do that and don't actually join it, it'll work. Flip that around. Okay, so that goes there. Then we're just going to connect this guy up to the actual pathway that we got going on here. Okay, so this guy is going to come down here. And then maybe just go through there. Oh, great. That looks awesome. Give it a bit more room, I guess. Just bring that back like that, and it'll sort of just go in a little bit. And then I think if we just sort of mix it in with trees and all that, I think it looks sweet. I guess we're gonna need a pathway around the back of this too, because we'll put a key here at the back. I think that'll look good. And then so that'll go to there. Ooh, that almost lines up. Look at that. Maybe if we go here. Well, actually what we could do instead is do this and then... Ah! Not that. Do this, have it come straight down and move where this point is. Then line up with that. Yeah, that's better. I can go to there. Maybe this can go... Because I don't want to do that, it looks a bit straight. Maybe this just goes perpendicular into this guy. To there. And we get some more buildings around this area. Okay. I think we're sort of getting somewhere now. I think this is a little rough because it's like right on the edge of that building. Maybe that should be like it was originally in that elevated section. Maybe it should have been just along that section, and then it sort of goes back to normal. Okay, so that's there. That needs a key. That's fine. Bike path goes all the way through still. It's actually now more direct as well, so they might actually... Because I don't know if more people are going this way or not, but... Cool. All right, that goes there. That should have power now, I guess, right? Yeah, that should be good. And then this should now... How are we looking? Yeah, so this will definitely level up to the next section, which is great. We got some people coming down this way. Merging onto that pathway. Very nice. Yeah. Looking good. Okay, so around the back now, let's just get a quick key and then we'll call it a day. And I think we've done a good job. Which one do we want? Which is a good fenced one? Is this a good fenced one? Hang on. Yeah, that's fine. I never know how far to take these keys though, you know? Like, how far where should this key go to, you know? It's one of life's great unanswered questions. And also, should it be the same height all the way along is the other thing, like, or is that weird? So if we were to select all of these points, should they all be this height? Sure, why not? I think if we just do a little bit of landscape around it, it'll probably be fine. All right, so that's our campus. Look at that. That's coming along nice. And I think once, I would, you know, decorate it more with like trees and all that, but I think once it's like built up more, it'll probably make more sense to do it then. Oh, hello. Where are you guys? Oh, hang on. This is not good. I hate when they do this stuff. They're all just merging because, well, they're all in one lane. It's really the issue. If you just guys go to this lane instead, and you guys only go to this lane, then that's literally going to flow a million times better. Oh, I meant to do this. Nope, meant to do this one. Just pick your lane. It doesn't matter. I guess actually what I could do is just say, that's an exit, and then you guys can only go to this lane. The other thing we might have to do at some point is actually just add more lanes. So this will like go to 3 lanes as they merge in. But I mean, for now it should be fine. Because that pretty much solves that issue right away. That might also be causing more traffic, so who knows. Also, we seem to be having dead people issues. Quite a lot. Yeah. It seems like, I mean, we definitely have capacity. It's not that we don't have capacity. I just don't think we have a good spread of it around the city. There's quite a lot of people dying at the moment. So we might just go through and add some more crematoriums around the place as well. But until then, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time. And have an awesome day.